It's called the Bird's Eye View of Phoenix, Arizona, and it is what is called a lithograph, which are very popular in the mid and late 1800s. And this one in particular is called the Bird's Eye View, and it is an elevated view looking northeast over what Phoenix was in 1885. And I especially like it because you can, what I call time travel, you can go back visually, you can see the names of the different streets, you can see the buildings that were in place at that time, and you can see off in the distance, you can see Piestewa Peak off in the distance, and down in the corner you can see what was the town cemetery at that time. I've done so much work on this to understand the various components of it, but I feel like I only really know about 30% of it. And actually this was done in 1885, so to give you a perspective, in 1885 Geronimo was still running around, Apache raids, the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. was dedicated in 1885. Arizona State University began in 1885. The insane asylum, we call it the Arizona State Hospital, began in 1885. So that's when this lithograph was made. There's the very first actual schoolhouse that was built within the original town site is still on here. It was a little one-room, dirt floor, adobe building, and you can still see that. So if you consider education in the valley and education of young people as an important milestone, the building where that first took place is still on there, and I think that's really important. What we now know as St. Mary's is on here as well. It was a different building, but it was on the same site. There has always been a St. Mary's Catholic Church. It's taken different forms over the years, but there's always been, even back to this point in time, a St. Mary's on that location, just right over here, or whichever way we're pointing east. One of the things that people notice when they look at this is the street names were named after Indian tribes originally. In the early 1890s, they were changed. The north-south streets were named after Indian tribes with two exceptions. One of them was Montezuma and the other Cortez. They were leaders and explorers, but the others were named after Indian tribes, and they were changed to the numbers that we know of today in the early 1890s.